Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol. Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Scarlet Witch, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad, and Fred nailed the intro.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steven.
Yeah, how many times have I done that and I've messed it up? More than I should be messing it up. Oh well. So
I don't feel
how
like I've ever seen you mess it up.
I
That's
messed
what
it
I
up
was
last week
thinking.
too. I definitely messed it up last week. But how is everybody doing? How are you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing fine. Brandon just kicked my butt at Star Wars Unlimited.
Oh, I was about to say I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm not. How are you doing, Brandon?
Thanks, Fred.
Pretty good. I kicked Brad's butt at Star Wars Unlimited, so I can't. And it's even better because he almost did it to himself completely because he misplayed terribly.
How are you doing, Stephen?
Well, I'm going to ask, how are you doing, Fred?
I'm exhausted. I spent most of today laying on the hammock and trying to nap. I was up till after 2 a.m. last night. Definitely not nice.
Self-abusing yourself?
Yeah. It's vampire.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, no, I got a sunny day up by the lake. Breeze is coming off. Baseball game's on, although I've turned it off now. I'm not listening to it because I'm recording a podcast, but we're good.
Yeah, it is thankfully a very nice day out today. Well, I'm going to be running slow today too. Let's talk about the tournament that's coming up in the near future. So coming up on May the 18th, there is going to be a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. This is going to be the BECC qualifier. So if you are in the area, you've got to come down. If you are in our region, honestly, you need to make your way to Charleston and play in this tournament so that you can get some points, get started real solid on this BECC run that's going to be going on for the next year.
Yeah,
9 months.
It's a yearly cycle.
Yeah. I kind of like that. It's going to give us some good reason to travel around, see some more of the people who are playing in our greater regional area. I'm excited. So come on down if you want to play in the BECC, and it's our home store, and hopefully we will know how many are coming so we can reserve the correct number of tables. Okay, I think that's the only tournament that I know of that's going on right now in the month of May. I'm sure that there's going to be another one up in Pittsburgh, but I don't know when
It's a casual
it is off the top
day.
of my head. It's a casual day. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. There is some news and announcements that we got about the Spider Foes in the Spider Foes box that's coming out on the 17th of May. And that is that every one of them is a Spider Foe and a member of Criminal Syndicate. And that's it. All 4 of them are Spider Foes and Criminal Syndicate affiliated.
Fred doesn't even care about the Web Warriors box.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There was... All right, so tell us about the... You're right. Who cares? Let's move on. No, well, tell us about the Web Warriors box there.
They're both Web Warriors.
That's Scarlet Spider and Gwenom.
Yeah.
Are only Web Warriors.
Yes.
Boring. I was hoping that Gwenom would be a Midnight Sun. Even though I don't think she's ever been one. I think that she would fit very well into that particular play style.
That was a crazy thing to think that was going to happen, Fred.
Yeah,
The internet seems to believe that the Ben Reilly has been a part of the Midnight Suns, though.
Listen, I can want what I want, and I wanted Gwenom in the Midnight Suns, and it didn't happen.
God, Fred knows nothing about the comics.
No, I really don't. We're gonna find that out later in this episode, but yeah. So that's the news that we've had from AMG since our last record. I'm I'm sure that Brandon, you're pretty happy about all these criminal syndicates that are
I
getting added
am
in.
absolutely ecstatic.
Like Sandman being in the criminal syndicate is just Kingpin
Wonderful.
is just the
Wonderful
happiest
stuff.
leader in the world. Can't believe it.
It makes complete sense for them to those to be like the two affiliations that all four of them have.
I agree. I think that they all make sense. It's just it's giving even more tools to Kingpin.
Well, we hadn't got a criminal syndicate model in a while, so it's not like it felt like it's been a long time. And then with that confirmed, and then if the Abomination Wrecking Crew box is real, um, and those are allegedly confirmed as criminal syndicate as well. So
Now, I want to ask a question, please.
Sure.
Does this mean that AMG hoodwinked us and they just put a Spider Foes label on the box to sell more boxes?
well, I don't think there's a Spider Foes label actually on the box for that one.
There isn't.
The Spider Foes box has original Doc Ock, Lizard, Craven,
Green Goblin.
Goblin. Yeah, sorry, I was drawing a mad
Well,
blank there.
well, with all their articles and stuff, they pushed it as a Spider's Foes box. I guess is what I'm referring to, and not
they
a
could
criminal
have pushed it. Yeah,
as
they could have
criminal
pushed it criminal syndicate. Yeah, you're right.
Especially since none of them had a leadership either.
Yeah. But all four of those characters are characters that came into existence in the Spider universe. They're all Spider Foes first. They just so happen to be criminal. Criminal Syndicate is like a big tent.
I would
And it brings
argue,
in-
Fred, that
Okay,
all of
yeah.
those people were criminals first, and then when Spider-Man tried to stop them from doing their crimes that they were already doing, then they became Spider Foes.
I guess what you're bringing up now is the existentialism of this particular debate. Were they people? Or were they just creations by Stan Lee to be foes for his character Spider-Man?
Oh, I
I
would
would
argue
even-
that they're people. Some of my best friends are comic characters.
I would even add that all the characters in this box came out before Kingpin, the criminal organizer did in the comics.
Oh, did they? Did they all? Okay.
Yeah, they did all
Mhm.
debut before Kingpin. I don't think that matters though, because you can play leaderless.
I mean, you can.
But
Why would you? Yeah. Especially when you have Kingpin as one of your options. All right. Well, that's all the news that we have from AMG this week. Do you guys want to talk about games that we've played recently?
We can.
All right. I'll go first. I played 2 games this past Thursday. My first one was against Brad, and I got absolutely housed. He was playing. Actually, it wasn't as bad as I just made it
No,
sound.
it
He
was a
playing,
pretty close game, Fred.
He was playing X-Men, and I was playing Spider Foes, and my memory of this game, I don't actually even remember the crises we played. Do you remember the
It
crises?
was Mutant Madman and Spider Infected.
I think that's right. Because it had Spider Infected in both of my games. But he just got ahead on victory points, and I couldn't keep up. And that's a rare place for me to be as Spider Foes, because that's usually how I want to play.
There were several points in the game where if I rolled pretty well, I take out one of his characters before his character can wreck me. And that happened like 3 times. So I won the game.
Yeah. It was a good game though. It ended. I was in the double digits of points, so I didn't get a cream too hard.
I
think
believe
Brad
you
had,
ended
I
at.
think it was
I think you ended at 15 points, Fred.
15 to 19. I
Yeah.
think that's the score. Yeah. Oh well. I'm trying to claw my way into the competitive scene.
Oh, Mr. Second Place at the last tournament we went to is just trying to get into the competitive scene.
Well, Steven, have you played any games recently?
Yes, I have. um, I played a game this Thursday night against one of our locals, Mike, the Sweets and Geeks guy. We played a game of Shadowlands Daredevil Criminal Syndicate against my Convocation, which I'm experimenting with a little bit again. And we were on Sword Base, and I am forgetting Legacy Virus, and we were playing at 19. I was playing Strange, the original, Voodoo, Ancient One, Wong, and Electra. And of course, he was playing Shadowlands Daredevil, Gwenpool, Hawkeye, Bullseye, Black Cat, and I forget his last one. But this game, I thought I was going to lose. It was that bad, but things turned around. Elektra got into Daredevil, took him out. Things were, oh, that's right, he had Taskmaster. Okay. Things were, I don't know. I'm learning everything. So, there's every time I play a Convocation game, there's something new I take away from it. Like, oh, I can do that. So that's how that game ended up. But it was very eye opening. So
it is the big brain faction. It's the faction that has a very high ceiling.
yeah, I'm getting exercised for Sandman here. So, and then
yeah.
Mike and I then played a second game because I wanted to try out something. I have a friend who is interested in playing Marvel Crisis Protocol, so I'm trying to develop 17-point teams. They're just basic, but based off of their likes. So my friend likes Spider-Man, so I did a Web Warriors list and I did a Spider Foes list, and we tested that out. So, and see if it needed tweaking and what could be improved and what couldn't be improved. So I do thank Mike for that. But found out Spider-Woman's a little bit too strong for a base game. And that Mysterio needs to be upgraded to somebody else. So, and then
Rocker.
Yeah, probably. And then we were running Carnage in there because I wanted to do like the kind of like a little bit of rivals because Venom was in the Web Warriors and I wanted Carnage to be opposite. And of course, you got Spider-Man and Green Goblin, right? But just finding out that it just didn't quite work because Spider-Woman got into Carnage and that wasn't good. So
oh yeah,
we'll switch Carnage out and make it Rhino, and maybe even do an upgrade on somebody and put a Black Cat in there. But
you're changing your list is looking more and more like my Spider Foes list.
No. Changes. No, Black Cat in the Web Warriors because she's affiliated. Everybody has to be affiliated, right? So
okay, I see.
Putting them on opposite sides is not a bad thing. So, but I'll fine tune it some more, and it's just something to have fun, show people the game. This is a throw, this is a push, this is a, all that little stuff. So
that's a good idea to have that in your pocket as a good fun list to put together. Very thematic one.
Or you never know, because in our store we have new gamers show up all the time, right? And they come over and they take a look, and it's the opportunity to say, "Hey, would you like to try this game out?" Right? And then I always have those models in my carry packs, so it's just one of those things. But like I said, we're going to fine tune this list a little bit so that it becomes more more balanced, so to speak.
All right. Okay. Well, Brandon, do you have any games that you want to talk about today?
No, I haven't played in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Brad, do you want to talk about any games that you've played recently?
I played a game on Thursday. It was against this new guy who's just trying to get into the competitive scene. He played. It wasn't. He had a lot of Criminal Syndicate models, but I think he may have been Spider Foes.
All right.
I don't remember,
right.
but we played.
All right.
What, Fred? You asked. I am telling you about the only game I played this week.
Okay, that I didn't know if that was the only game you played. It's rare that it's me who's gotten the most games in a week. It's usually you guys. Well, I guess my second game was against Borka, and he was using Guardians of the Galaxy against Spider Foes, and we played on Demons Downtown and Spider Infected, and I got absolutely destroyed. It's hard to play an E secure against Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just really hard, especially right now with what I've got access to. I should have played Hulk, honestly. I was thinking back on it, and I didn't play Hulk, and I probably should have.
Yeah.
That would have been a better choice.
After,
Oh well.
After
Fred, you do not put out fires with gasoline.
After
Yeah,
this game, I heard Borka tell Brandon that Cosmic Ghost Rider is still good.
Cosmic Ghost Rider is still good. He was playing Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's the takeaway from this game is Cosmic Ghost Rider did everything that he likes to do. He still succeeded in it all, and he even got to use his spender in this game. So it was a pretty good. I mean, he's definitely still a valuable player in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that if you're affiliated in his affiliations, he will still see play.
Speaking of the Spider Foes box and Cosmic Ghost Rider and Ultron's all over the place now. There's a model I've been spotting that's actually good into them that nobody plays.
What's that model?
It's Claw.
Oh gosh, really?
We actually had a conversation with me and Borka had been talking about that on a lot of the stuff going on right now where Claw's actually a really good support piece, especially in his affiliations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because giving that stun before damage is dealt is devastating to those models.
Oh, okay.
And he's immune to Incinerate. He has a high energy defense. I mean, he's got a self-heal, so...
So you're saying I should put Claw on my list?
It might not be a bad thing when you see stuff like that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Because that seems crazy. Well, I guess that's it for the games that we've played recently. Let's move on to our segment where we prognosticate about what the threat value is going to be for models that we don't know yet. We've done this before where we made our guesses as to what the threat values of the Spider Foes box were going to be, and there is an Asgardian box coming out in the near future, and I think that it would be fun for us to do that again and try and think through what each one of those characters are going to be. So, yeah, let's try that.
All right, excellent. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So far, the characters in the box are Thor, Mighty Thor, also we're gonna just call her Jane Foster Thor, just for
Okay.
clarity. Loki and Lady Sif. Now, the one thing about this box is that we actually do know the threat level of the new Thor coming out, and that's a 6. But I still have a question for that, so we'll start with that. Is the new 6 threat Thor going to be a leader in this box? Yes or no? I'm going to shoot it over to Brad first.
Yes, and he's not the only one.
Ooh. Okay. Brandon.
I'm gonna go with no.
Fred.
I'm also going to say no.
Okay. Those are locked in. Now we're going to go through to the threat levels. And this is Mighty Thor, also, as we're clarifying, as Jane Foster Thor. So, starting with Brandon this time, what threat level do you think this character will be?
4.
All right. Fred.
Brandon took it right out of my mouth. I was going to say a 4.
Well, you're allowed to say a 4 too. Is that what you would like to prognosticate?
Yeah, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at a 4.
Okay. Brad, what would you say?
4.
4? Okay.
I didn't want to do that, but
It's points, right? I mean, Brandon got a half point for getting a leader question on you. So anyway,
what was that the only point he got that time?
The half point, yeah, that was it. It wasn't even a full point.
Yeah, I don't know
All
why
right.
you guys followed me. That's kind of on you.
Next, we have Loki. So, Fred, what threat do you think Loki will be?
Okay, so the previous Loki was a 4 threat who had access to a stone. I think that this is going to be a 5 threat version of Loki.
Okay. Brad, what would you say?
I was gonna say 5 threat.
Oh no.
Okay.
This is so boring.
Yeah.
Brandon, what would you say?
3.
There we
3.
go. There we go. There's a different take.
And
I want them to have a chance to get points.
And finally, we have Lady Sif. We'll start with Brad on this one.
3. I'm glad I went first this time. 3.
3. Okay. Brandon?
I'm gonna go 4.
Fred?
I was also thinking 4.
Okay. Now, since we got and that's it for the threat levels. Since we have such close parity, to make this a little bit more granular, we'll do some follow-up questions. So,
Okay.
Jane Foster, Mighty Thor. Brad, do you think she's going to be a leader? Yes or no?
Yes.
Brad?
I did, but I want to change. I want to change 2 answers.
Okay.
I want to say it's relevant though. I want to say Loki is going to be a 4, and I want to say that the Mighty Thor is not going to be a leader.
Okay, you already said the Mighty Thor is not going to be a leader. So Jane Foster Thor is not a leader.
Yeah.
Okay. Fred.
I'm going to say that she is not going to be a leader. Jane Foster Thor.
Okay. It's funny that we use the naming convention from the movies. So, anyway, follow-up question with Loki. We'll start with Brandon this time. Is he a gem bearer or not?
I do not think he'll be a gym bearer. I do think he'll have a leadership.
Brandon, you stole my hot take. That's what I was going to say.
I was also going to say that. It's not a very hot take.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
Cabal. He's going to have a Cabal leadership.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll leave the leader question off the table then, since you all are in agreement with that.
Yeah, we all agree.
Fred, do you think he'll have a gem? That was a no, correct?
Yeah, I do not believe that he will have a gem.
God, we haven't had a gym bearer in forever.
No, we haven't.
Brad, gem bearer or no?
No.
All right. And Lady Sif, we're just gonna default to, do we think she's a leader? And we'll start with Brad.
No.
Okay. Brandon?
No.
Brad.
I don't see why she would be. So no. No is my answer as well.
For those following my takes, that would make her the only one I don't think is a leader.
Brad's out here on a 3-liter box.
Yeah,
I've done it
really.
before.
Actually, my thought is Loki would not be a leader, but Lady Sif might be because she's like the default leader of the Warriors 3.
Okay.
I thought about that, except for, we don't have the Warriors 3.
Might be coming, we don't know, but
Yeah,
all right.
Asgardian Leadership Warriors 3.
So we have this set in stone, and we'll put it in my little time capsule.
Hold on. Put on there that Brandon thinks there's going to be a tactics card that allows one of either the 6-point or the Mighty Thor to be a leader.
Oh, so you're changing your answer to a leadership card.
Yeah.
Can I put, if we're just adding on things that we predict, I'm going to predict that there's going to be a tactics card with a character. It is a Loki specific tactics card with a character that looks surprisingly like Owen Wilson.
Oh, TVA? Time Variance Authority?
Yeah.
So I'm putting I'm putting Brandon down for a leader card. These will be like tiebreakers, I guess.
Okay.
Because obviously they're not specific questions that I have generated for you.
Okay, I have a tactics card hot take as well. TVA reference is Fred. Okay. And Brad, what would you like to espouse? I think that there will be a tactics card that makes someone affiliated Asgard, and it gives them a hammer, some sort of rules to represent them having a hammer.
Ooh. The Worthy. And it can only be used on Captain America.
Affiliated Asgard. Oh. Tactics card. Okay.
A lot of characters have gotten hammers, not necessarily Mjolnir. Like Storm had a hammer for a while.
That's some hot takes from you guys. For such a boring box in the beginning, it's become very, very...
I think this box is actually going to change a lot because I think Asgard is very, very close to being very, very good.
All right. Well, we got it locked in. So I'm going to, like I said, put it in the time capsule. And when the time comes, when everything is revealed, we'll pull it out and we'll see how correct you guys were. And Jared, if you're listening and you come on the cast sometime and you want to get in on this action, just let me know.
Yeah, so he can sweep us like he did last time.
Yeah.
You realize he doesn't listen to the podcast, right? Because he hates us.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna go see him today, and I will get his take. I will see him today.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on.
Yeah, just go ahead and get a quote from him on Sandman because the last quote we got is that Sandman was awful. So,
a crazy take. Sorry about that. I lost my mic for just a second. Okay, so sometimes when we do a character review, we get something wrong, or we don't take into effect just how the character interacts with the meta, or sometimes they get errated. And when this happens, we like to do a recalibration on that character in this section, the recalibration matrix. Today, we're going to be talking about Baron Strucker. So, does someone have up what we gave Baron Strucker last time?
A-.
Yeah, like an A- as a group. We were pretty up on Baron Strucker, which, I mean, having played against him a couple times, he's not that great. he's fine. He's fine. I don't think he's A- quality. So perhaps we were a little bit too high on the old Baron Strucker. So what is everyone's experience having played against Baron Strucker? I've actually put him on the table a couple times.
I think we should start with you then, Fred.
Okay. Well, my take on him is he dies pretty quickly. Like, he's got a couple things. He does get a free reroll, and he has the ability. He has the Baron Zemo bubble, which is very nice. He only has 5 health, and aside from the Baron Zemo reroll, and yeah, really just that. I guess he has healing factor as well. He doesn't really have a whole lot of defensive tech.
He also,
I guess both of those things are both very good defensive tech. So
he also
I don't know
heals
what I'm
off of
talking
his
about.
leadership.
That's true. That's true. His leadership, if you are playing his leadership, does heal him, but he only has 10 health total. He is a 3-threat leader, which actually is pretty. That is one of the bigger positives in his whole spiel. But I find that he usually underperforms on the table. That's what I've seen. And his leadership is not as good as Red Skull 2's leadership in Hydra. It's I mean, it is a nice leadership, but it is a little bit of a Rube Goldberg machine sometimes. I mean, oftentimes.
It's forcing you to take characters that you might not normally look at because they give out conditions like crazy.
Yeah. He likes to bring Omega Red a lot, and he likes to bring characters that have easy. He likes to play with poison, which is
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Speaking of who we're doing today, Scarlet Witch. All right, someone else talk about their experience playing against Baron Strucker.
Okay, well, Fred, I want to back up your comments and say that he does seem fragile, but there's a character that has healing factor and has 5 health that is played quite regularly.
I think I know the answer to this.
And has a reroll.
I think I know the answer to this.
Actually, there's two of them now.
Oh, who's that?
Brad, would you like to?
X-23.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the other one he's talking about is.
Well, Deadpool, he's a 4/6, but he still has 10 health,
yeah.
and he has a lead. So
I think both of them are better than Baron Strucker. They also both have healing. Oh wait, does X-23 have healing factor 2? I don't don't think she does. She does.
Right.
Yeah, they both have healing factor 2 instead of 1.
But why does that make a difference on a 5 health character?
5, yeah, you're right.
So
it's easier to do 1 damage than 2 damage. So if you get them to like 4 and they go to 2, it's easier to do instead of 3. It's easier to do like 2 damage than 3 damage on especially like 4 and 5 dice attacks.
Right, but it's apples. It's apples to apples basically. So I mean, apples to pears, I guess, and everybody wants an apple instead of a pear. And
I think in both those cases, those models are better. I think that X-23 is better. She's way more aggro than Baron Strucker is. And I think that Deadpool is better. When he's flipped, he's like kind of a monster. Like he does a ton of work with that I forget what it's called, but it's the dance thing where he can move around.
Dance party.
Dance party, yeah.
Well, I think I think in my not saying I'm Baron Strucker, but I think Deadpool's actually better than X-23 now, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 4 psychic mystic defense goes a long way. So anyway, but I think there's something mechanically um, averse to Strucker that doesn't make him work, and him being a leader means he gets targeted.
Yeah.
So I think that's where he falls down.
Yeah, and you end up he usually in the times that I've played him, I keep thinking to myself this this list would be better under Red Skull's leadership, Red Skull 2's leadership, I should clarify, and with Baron Zemo in it instead of Baron Strucker. Because Baron Zemo is a better model than this, with the same like strategic genius bubble.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is with Strucker, he allows, if you're playing Hydra, right? He allows you to go wide with Hydra at 5 on those 15 secures.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's his role, is basically what I'm looking at.
Yeah. I agree with your assessment. I think that he's just kind of lackluster as a leader. All right.
Anyway,
I want
yeah.
to hear Brad and Brandon talk about this guy just a little bit. Brad, what is your take here?
I think the whole him being a leader so he gets targeted is his biggest flaw. Like, people are going to just attack him instead of someone who is more dangerous and prevent him from having those moments where he's dangerous, which is what X-23 and Deadpool can do because they aren't targeting them. And I think that's really
I think that
the biggest problem he has. Like, if he was left alone, I think he'd be doing some decent work.
I'm not saying that he doesn't function. I just mean I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. Okay, Brandon, what's your take here on Baron Strucker?
The main thing I don't think that's been mentioned, like the leadership's important because if you're playing his leadership, you've probably built your roster around him, and taking him out probably just dampers it, and you can honestly take him out with like a brisk wind. I think a big problem he has is kind of the same problem I think that's happened with like Red Skull 2. Hydra doesn't have a ton of great models. Um, they aren't. They just have a lot. They're lackluster in the models they have, to be honest. And he's a part of that problem because you're not really playing him outside of his leadership because he's not doing a whole lot of anything for you. And then his leadership's not doing a whole lot unless you build around it, and he's entirely too easy to take off the table.
Yeah.
I would also like to clarify, I did not give this model an A, anything near an A minus, when we originally graded him.
Okay. All right. Well, let's give this guy a new letter grade. I'm gonna. So I was definitely up on him. I think I gave him an A. I think I was up in that area. I am way less up on him now.
You bought Hydra right when it came out, right?
I did. Yes. Yeah. I'm way less up on this guy. I think that he's probably in. I'm gonna give him a C plus. I think he's down in that particular zone in the C pluses. Okay. Steven, what's your take here?
He's totally average. He's a C.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, he does some nice things like give out incinerates, give the reroll. Even has Venom's healing off his Spender, but yeah, totally average.
Totally average. All right, Brad, what you got?
You all are crazy. Every model in this game is a B. B minus.
Okay. And Brandon.
Yeah, I don't like he's not played in any of his affiliations. He doesn't do a whole lot for anything. I think he's a C minus. I was almost into D plus territory.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I just don't think he's good. Like there's nothing about like, and it feels like when you read the card, like it's just like they gave him a leadership and then like took things and just made everything else worse on the card.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would do one thing to fix him
What's that?
and make his builder range 4.
You know what? That would help a lot. That would help him a lot.
Yep.
But he is currently in the state of having a range 3 and being as fragile as he is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Baron Strucker. He's recalibrated. We pulled him back. We were a little too high on him when we originally did him. Having had some time and some reflection on him, he's definitely not as good as we thought. Okay, let's move on to everyone's favorite. Let's make fun of Fred for not knowing anything about comic book trivia. All right, Brad, kick us off.
This is my favorite part of the show now. Okay, so
if Strucker was a 6.5, he would also be like incrementally a lot better.
I agree. Like giving him an extra health would help him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Brad.
All right, Brad.
No, that's fine. I had to bring up the trivia anyway. So, rules of the game. This is how this game works. I'm going to ask Fred a comic book trivia question where the answer is a model that is in the game of MCP. He is going to answer that question. If he gets it right, he gets 4 points. If he does not get it right, I will give him a hint. If he gets it right after the hint, he will get 3 points. If he still gets it wrong, Brandon has a chance to answer for 2 points. And if Brandon doesn't know the answer, Steven gets a shot for 1 point. As a team, they need 8 points to win.
It's 8? Why? You're raising the thing.
I tried to raise it last time, and you told me no, and then I let you talk me into it.
And then we won by exactly the correct amount.
Yeah, so it's 8 this time.
Okay.
He's tired of losing.
You have won too many times. So I either make the questions harder, Fred, or I up the point.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So here we go. Question number 1. And there are 3 trivia questions. Only 3. This character is genetically modified member of his race. He went through trials that each would kill 99% of the participants until he was the only one to survive.
Is it Beta Ray Bill?
Is that your final answer?
That is my answer.
You do not want to think about it first? That was awfully quick, Fred.
It's Beta Ray Bill.
It is, in fact, Beta Ray Bill. You're off to a great start, Fred.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you trying to do, trying to talk me out of taking the correct answer?
How did you know that?
It came up on Beta Ray Bill's episode.
Yeah, but you forget everything. How did you remember that?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so
I knew that answer, but like, Jesus, I did not expect you to know that answer.
Here's a question I have for all of you. How many aliens, like actual aliens, are in this game?
We have an alien faction.
Yeah, but
we have 2 alien factions.
Okay.
Also, Fred, I didn't say alien.
Well,
you said
you
of a different species.
Of their race.
Yeah, could have been human.
Version. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm correct. That's 4 points for us.
Your hint would have been that they are worthy of wielding Mjolnir and gaining the powers of Thor.
I would have 100% gotten it by then.
Okay.
But I 100% got it immediately.
Okay, Fred. Your next trivia question.
To be fair, Captain America almost completely falls under that.
And just a reminder to all of the people listening that Fred needs 9 points to win. This character was created...
We're moving the goalposts. Hold on.
Okay, 8 this time. This character was created in universe to kill Thanos by taking the spirit of a man whose family was killed by the Mad Titan and putting it in a powerful new body.
Is it Cosmic Ghost Rider?
That is incorrect. Your hint.
Okay.
This character once had flight and energy blasts, but after dying protecting a human child he thought was his daughter, he now only possesses enhanced physical attributes like speed and strength.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I lost my mic there for just a second. I think that this is it oh god, what's his name? Batista. Dave Batista. What's Dave Batista's character's name?
Drax.
Drax.
Dang.
Is it Drax?
I was trying to think of a different Dave Batista character, like literally any other one. And I couldn't.
It would be oh god, Beast Raban would have worked. That would have worked.
Is that from Dune?
Yeah, that is from Dune.
Nobody cares about Dune. You are correct. It is Dave Batista. Not Drax.
Hey.
Not Drax. Actual Dave Batista. Your third and final question, Fred. Can we get a score check before we continue?
That puts us at 7, if memory serves.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as Steven knows the answer, we good.
Okay. This character is from Planet X and is a genius level intellect with a specialty in quasi-dimensional superposition engineering.
Oh god. Planet X? It's not a planet. Okay.
It is in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I've no clue. I've got no idea here. Is this one Planet X? Genius level intellect. I cannot think of anybody. So I'm gonna say. Oh, I can't even. Is it Ronin? It's definitely not. I'm just throwing out an alien name.
That is
one of the aliens.
Incorrect. Your hint.
Okay.
This character is incapable of speaking standard English for most of their history.
Incapable of speaking standard English? I'm gonna kick myself when I find out who this is. I can't think of who it is. I'm going to say pass because I cannot think of a person that fits this.
Pass is incorrect. That's not even an MCP character. Brandon, do you know the answer to this question?
I'm trying to think of like super smart people in the game.
Like, the thing I was thinking Professor Xavier, except he's not from Planet X. He's from Earth. So that didn't work.
I'm between two people, and it's only because they're the two people that come to mind when I think in this game, besides Professor Xavier, that are like super duper smart.
Oh, I need an answer, Brandon.
I am going to go with Cassandra Nova.
That is incorrect. Steven, can you save them and get the point?
I am Groot.
So Fred, Xavier is from Planet X.
Wait, really?
No, the correct answer was Groot. Steven got it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Groot's hyper intelligent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am Groot is like 500 words.
Yeah. And he was incapable of speaking English until he was killed and grew again from a twig. And then he could speak
Okay.
English for a while. Maybe still can. I don't read Guardians anymore. Fred, your bonus question. What do these characters have in common?
Groot, Drax, and Beta Ray Bill are all members of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Very good. 9 points, the exact amount you needed to win. Very good, Fred.
He's gonna just keep moving the goalposts.
That's trivia.
I kind of forgot they had to have something in common.
So far.
So far. Well, they all originally they all do because they're all in the game.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you now, Fred.
Okay, sorry. My mic has given me a lot of trouble today. Okay, so we that was the trivia segment. Thank you very much, Brad. We won again. We're batting 1,000 here. Actually, we've lost one, I think. I think we did lose one. But let's move on to the Oh, wait, hold on. Was there another segment that we need to do? No. Let's move on to the character that we are here to cover today. That character is the Scarlet Witch,
Fred,
otherwise
just
known
a
as
second. Keep going. I'm gonna step away for a minute though. So
Okay.
you guys just keep going.
Okay. This is the Scarlet Witch, otherwise known as Wanda Maximoff. She has 6 health on both sides of her card. She is a medium mover, size 2, and a threat value of 5. Her defenses are 3 physical, 4 energy, and 4 mystic on both sides of her card. Her attack suite. Her first attack is called Hex Bolt. It is a range 4, 6 dice, 0 cost attack. It is a builder, and she has on a skull. It has chaos magic. After this attack is resolved, for each skull in the attack roll, the target character gains one of the following special conditions: bleed, hex, incinerate, or poison. Her spender is called Cruel Twist. It is range 3, 8 dice, with 6 power cost. That's pretty steep. Cruel Twist, the defending character does not add crit results in its defense roll to its total successes and cannot add additional dice to its defense roll as a result of crit results. And then on a skull result on your dice, it has Reality Contortion. Change one of the defending character's crit, wild, or shield results to a blank. Why would you do a crit? I don't think that's an unnecessary thing to change, because they already can't count it.
It's just boilerplate sentences because we've seen this before in some other people that have a similar ability, but it's not attached to the do not add crit results.
Right. Okay. All right, Steven, why don't you do the first 2 superpowers?
Okay, first we have an active superpower called Telekinesis. It will cost 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain creature of size 4 or less within 3 and throw it medium. This superpower can be used only once per turn. Then we have a reactive superpower called Curse. It will cost you 2 power. When this character is damaged by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, you may use the superpower. The attacking character gains the Judgment special condition.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you do the rest of the card?
Are we on Chosen of Kethon?
Yes.
Alright, cool. That's an innate ability. When attacking, defending, or dodging, this character adds skull results into its rolls to its total successes. Alright, hold on. When attacking, defending, or dodging, this character adds skull results in its rolls to its total successes. No, that's just still weird. Hex field, enemy character performing a shake action within 3 of this character may not remove hex, judgment, or poison, and she has flight.
Okay. All right. So, what's everyone's initial thoughts here? My first thought is she's amazing, and I'm amazed I don't see her on the table more often. Like,
I've played this model a lot, actually, and I agree that I think she's really good, but she is very, very fragile for a 5 threat model.
that is true. She only has 12 health. That she does have an extra success result on all of her dice. Being able to count skulls comes up a lot. I think it's an amazing ability.
Oh, it is. It is for sure. Yeah, I think the health pool is usually because it's a 5 threat. I feel like you have to be special. It's really kind of funny because I think she fits in. Originally, when she came out, she was like a really big part of like Brotherhood, and now I think it's the exact opposite. I think if you're taking her, you're probably taking her more in um, the Avengers than you are in Brotherhood. Um, she's real hard to fit in like Defenders and A-Force because of the other characters they have in that one. Avengers are kind of the same. The thing with Avengers though, you get all the mystic. Her mystics are very important in that affiliation. So
Yeah. I should say we should get in the habit of doing this. I'm gonna go through her affiliations because there are quite a few. Scarlet Witch is affiliated with A Force, Avengers, Defenders, and the Brotherhood of Mutants. That's quite the interesting lineup that she can be connected with.
and they're good affiliations.
They are good affiliations.
If A Force gets a lower point leader, she could see a ton of play in that affiliation.
Yeah, it's just tough to bring her with She-Hulk when the two of them together make 11 points of your list.
You can do the drop off thing with her, right?
Oh yeah, because she has flight.
Yeah, she has
Mhm.
Special delivery.
special
Yep.
delivery, yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem is then she's up there, and you've probably used her actions, and now it's kind of like awkward. But because she can stay back. It's just so hard because like she has a range 4 and a range 3, and she does a lot of good things. It's just hard to have a 5 threat that's not seemingly. I don't know. I really like this model. I want her to be a lot better than she feels sometimes on the table. I feel like she always feels worse on the table than her card is, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Is that because she just dies too quickly?
Yeah, and it could just be my experiences because like I've had her toast me before, and it's
Yeah.
like, but I feel like every time I put her on the table, maybe I'm just really bad at the game. That's fine.
Well, that's
But like
for
I feel,
sure.
yeah, I just feel like every time I've played her, even play against her, I feel like she's just kind of a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, the best character to pair with her is actually another 5 threat.
Who's that?
Doctor Strange, the first one.
Okay. Are you under his leadership? Is that what
No,
you're thinking?
not at all. Not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
But he gives her defense dice. He heals her,
Yeah.
and then
He
you got
keeps her alive forever.
yeah, exactly.
It's
But
just
you're
that's
in
10 points of your list already, and you don't have a
ex-
leader.
exactly.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
share 2 affiliations though.
Yeah.
What's that?
They're both Avengers and they're both Defenders.
No, Strange is not an Avenger.
Oh, is he not?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, he's definitely a defender.
What's the other one?
Yeah.
They don't. They only share 1.
Yeah. Everybody was like, this character should be Convocation, but she never showed up in it.
I forgot she was in Convocation. Because that is where I have most recently played her. She is great in Convocation.
I feel kind of like they forgot she exists. Like AMG forgot she exists.
I actually was going to mention that. I actually do believe I was surprised this character didn't get somewhat of a rework. And I was actually it felt like AMG just forgot that she existed. Her and Quicksilver. I think they just forgot that whole pack existed.
I don't know if she needs a rework. You mean just like give her an extra health on her healthy side or something?
Yeah, so I just something small, but it feels like they just forgot about this pack in general.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I think Quicksilver needs a rework more than she does.
Oh, Quicksilver does not. He is fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Brad,
Yeah.
you've been quiet for a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your take here on Scarlet Witch?
I think she's not getting played as much as she should. Like, especially in Brotherhood. Like, Brandon's the only person I've heard of recently who's been playing her in there, and it's just that's crazy. Like, she's good.
She
Like,
feels really good she feels a lot better under Mystique than she did under Magneto.
I think that's a points thing mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have somebody in affiliation that can bring just about the same attack suite for a threat less.
Uh-huh.
And arguably that fourth threat does a little bit more to help the team out.
They're different enough. Like, their attacks are kind of similar, but Scarlet Witch is more consistent in her attacks, and she isn't quite as weak to physical. So it's
Emma can also just get hosed on accident.
yeah.
Emma is good though. It's a good flex to have both of those options available to you.
But usually your 5 slots taken up by Juggernaut, right?
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah,
Juggernaut
Juggernaut works so well with Magneto and Mystique. That's why she's been squeezed out, but she's so good.
Yeah. I do like her with Mystique because you get you have Mystique's range 3 attacks, you have Pyro's range 3 and 4 attacks, and then you get Mystique's range 4 attack or Scarlet Witch's range 4 attacks, and it kind of gives you a lot of versatility to kind of migrate around the board and play a very scenario-based game plan. It is hard to pick her over Juggernaut. That's really like the biggest qualm that I always run into.
Well, should we talk about why you really take her in a game?
So you take her over Juggernaut against like Hulk and like Immortal Hulk. If you think they're bringing them, she is great in the Hulk versus Juggernaut. Juggernaut will just kill your own team.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
Well,
Trust me on that one.
Well, actually, I was specifically talking about her tactics cards, which we haven't gone over.
The one I refuse to play.
Why do you refuse to play it, Brad? It's really good.
Well, the one that Brad refuses to play is the one called No More Mutants. It is an unaffiliated reactive card. When an enemy character within range 5 of an allied Scarlet Witch spends 1 or more power to use any active superpower or reactive superpower, Scarlet Witch may spend 3 power to play this card. The enemy superpower has no effect and cannot be used again for the rest of this turn, but the enemy character still spends the power cost of that superpower and is considered to have used the superpower. That's amazing. This card is incredible. Like, this card will ruin someone's day.
I'll play it when it's called Shh.
Yeah, this is exactly the same as Hush. It's just such a strong effect.
It's very good.
Yeah.
This is your second brace for impact in a convocation list.
Yeah. That's a good take. I
And
think
it's got one of the cooler names of any tactics card.
Right. I'm sure Brad loves it. It is a card that is probably stapled to the back of her play card. If you were bringing her, you were probably playing this card. The other card that is associated with Scarlet Witch is called the Whims of Chaos. Scarlet Witch may spend any number of power to play this card. Choose one non-dazed character within range 3 of Scarlet Witch for each power spent to play this card. Each chosen allied character may remove 1 damage or 1 special condition. Each chosen enemy character gains one of the following special conditions: Hex, Root, or Incinerate. This is also really good. Like this is really good. This is it's within range 3, so she does have to be close, relatively close to these models that she's affecting, but she can heal or remove stagger from friendly models, and then enemy models gain Hex, Root, or Incinerate, all 3 of which are excellent conditions to give out. Like,
and your enemy characters cannot
this is a good card.
They can't shake the Hex when they're within 3 of her.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, because she's got the thing, the special ability.
Hex field, right? So, yeah, this card doesn't see as much play as the first one, because if the first one didn't exist, everybody would be playing this card. But it's really hard to take 2 cards for just one character.
I've played this card a lot.
Yeah, you have to make a choice. Is basically what it gets down to.
Yeah. I think that there's something we need to do with this character that we've not had to do for very many other characters at all. And that is, I think we should go over the condition Judgment. Because this is one of, 2 characters that can actually put out the Judgment condition. So Judgment is the character who has Judgment does not gain power when suffering damage from enemy attacks. So it's like stun, but instead of 1, they get 0.
Enemy effects, isn't it?
It says, I'm reading the resources, and it says enemy attacks. This is in Marvel Crisis Protocol. I'm not reading the specific rules in the rule book. But
yeah,
that's actually an important question.
I'll look it up while you guys discuss.
Okay. I think that's a pretty solid superpower. It doesn't do what stun does to, like, what's his face? Cosmic Ghost Rider. It doesn't ruin his day because he can still get all of his power.
Instead, it ruins Venom's day.
It does ruin Venom's day. You're right. Like, this is Venom tech.
It's Ultron tech too.
Yeah, it is. Or Ghost Rider tech. Just normal Ghost Rider.
New Venom or old Venom also criminally underplayed.
The rule book says attacks as well.
So it's just like throws still they gain power from. Okay.
Yeah.
Judgment's less good.
It's still good, Fred.
Yeah, just put Judgment and stun on, right?
Just do both. Yeah. It's on her reactive whenever she gets damaged by an enemy effect. She puts out Judgment. Do you think that Judgment is worth the 2 power that it costs to play?
Yes.
Okay. That is a fair answer.
Yeah, especially against characters like Hulks.
Oh yeah.
Immortal Hulks, right?
Immortal Hulk. Yeah.
They're not getting the power that they need to juice them up, and so you can just attack at them all day.
Yeah, you're right. She also
how many?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
How many times in a game have you had that decision tree, and you're like, I really don't want to attack them and give them power, right?
Often, all the time.
So,
yeah. It should also be stated that her throw is one of the better terrain throws in the game. It's really good. It costs 3, and she can do size 4 within range 3 and throw it medium.
mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good terrain throw. I like that terrain throw. All right.
right.
So we're rolling into the end of this character. Brandon, have I let you talk about her? Yeah, you talked about her at first.
Yeah, I went
Okay.
first. Yep.
All right.
I stepped in and went first this time, so you couldn't forget about me.
All right. Let's give her a letter grade. I think that what we brought up is, I think that she is fragile. Uh, she's also really good. Counting skulls is really good. I hate to do this, but I'm going to give her a B. I think I'm going to give her a straight B. And Dave can yell at me about it because he says that we give too many characters Bs. All right, that's what I'm going to give to her. Brad, why don't you give her a letter grade next?
As I said earlier, every character is a B. B.
Okay. Brandon, what are you going to give to her?
It's really unfortunate because you know what? I think she's a B plus. I think the tactics card gives her a plus.
That is fair. It is she has 2 great tactics cards. All right, Steven, what are you giving it to her?
I'm giving her an A minus actually.
A minus. Okay. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean she is excellent. And I do think that you can see her splashed. She can get splashed. It's just I'm worried that she gets killed too easily for a 5 threat model.
But that those 2 tactics cards, you have a choice, and that's the hardest part when you're taking her in a roster. She is 5 points, so she's got to replace somebody. She's not good in all situations, like some 5 threats might be.
Yeah.
But I the only thing I don't see on her that some of the other 5 threats have is action compression. She doesn't have any self movement, and that kind of holds her back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is our take on Scarlet Witch. That's 2 Bs, a B plus, and an A minus. That's pretty good. We're thinking she's on the good side of things. Brad, do you have any comic book recommendations for Wanda Maximoff?
I do. She's been in a couple comics. All right. So the first comic I'm going to recommend you read for her, as I vamp so that I can bring up my list, is X-Men #4 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Of course, if I can relate back to X-Men at all, I will. And this is her first appearance. She's a member of a group of villains that Magneto has formed to further his plans, called the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And she and Quicksilver are helping reluctantly because Magneto saved their lives from, I believe it was a mob that was going to kill them. And so, and he has to keep reminding them the whole time that they owe him. Okay. The second series that I'm going to recommend is called Avengers Origins Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. This is by Sean McKeever and Micro Pierfederici. And this is Wanda and Pietro's early life before joining the Brotherhood. And it's a collection of, it's like a retelling of stuff we've learned over time, and any inconsistencies are fixed. You get to see who they were before they were superheroes, and even before they were super villains. It also takes them up through leaving the Brotherhood and joining the Avengers. So it's their whole early life and career. Have I lost you yet, Fred?
No, I'm here. I exist.
Okay.
I'm
you taking all this in case I ask you questions about it later?
Yeah, I'm certain that I will remember all of this trivia for when this. If you were to ask me trivia on it right now, I think I would probably fail.
Fred, before I get to my last recommendation, do you know who Scarlet Witch's father is?
Is it Magneto?
No. It was.
I was gonna say, well,
It was. It also some guy named something Maximoff, and it was also maybe the Wizard or someone like that at one point. And now the High Evolutionary created her and her brother.
So are those just retcons or
Yes. Yeah, when they
from?
didn't have the mutants' rights anymore, Fox owned
Oh, I
the
see.
mutant rights.
I see.
They made them not mutants and distanced them from Magneto. But more recently, Magneto's like, you know what? I didn't had nothing to do with your birth, but I still think of you guys as children.
Okay. Okay.
And then my final recommendation is the series Scarlet Witch from 2023 by Steve Orlando and Sarah Pichelli. After performing a miracle for the mutants to make up for depowering all of them on M Day, Scarlet Witch isn't done making up for her past mistakes. So she opens a magic shop in New York City with a special door that can only be walked through if a person has no other way to be helped besides the Scarlet Witch. So if someone comes through the door, she knows she needs to help them. They have no other things to turn to. And so she helps everyone who comes through the door. It's a wonderful series. I have mixed feelings about Scarlet Witch, obviously, but I mostly dislike her. But this series is great. The art is amazing, too. And it's great. Some of the people who come through that door, I think, I'm trying to remember because I did read the series. I think Loki walks through at one point, and she has an aide named Darcy helping out at the store based on the character from the movies, and she had walked through the door, and it takes a while to figure out why. But it's interesting. Also, the younger clone of Magneto who got his head cut off shows up.
So, I've always been a little nebulous as to what Scarlet Witch's actual power set is.
Okay.
I know that it's like reality changing.
She has the mutant power to alter probabilities. Usually for bad luck reasons. She also has ties to the elder god Cthulhu, who rules Chthon, yeah, whatever. Who rules a chaos dimension.
Okay.
And actually, Chthon is currently trapped in her soul.
Okay.
She also was trained because of her connection to Chthon. She was trained in sorcery by Agatha Harkness, and is a pretty powerful witch.
Agatha Harkness being one of the witches from the Salem witch trials?
The very same Agatha Harkness.
Okay. Interesting.
Who also showed up in Wanda, right?
Yeah, she was in WandaVision.
I've not seen it.
Oh, that's a good one, Fred. You should watch it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're finding out that Fred hasn't watched something really good every episode now.
Yeah,
Listen,
pretty much.
There's only so much stuff that I can watch.
Fred, if
you do watch a lot of stuff, though.
I do.
Fred, if you had seen WandaVision, it would probably be your recommendation for today's episode.
No, it wouldn't, because it's too specifically on the nose. I couldn't
That's
recommend it.
that's a valid point.
Yeah. All right. Well. All right, Brandon. What is
Yeah,
your
convocation.
convocation? Okay.
Yeah.
That's an easy response.
Easy peasy. She should be a staple in I think every convocation list. Because
All
to be
right.
fair, she should also just be affiliated with convocation.
Yeah. She probably
So,
should be.
Well, when we
It's
get
an
these,
unfortunate
when we
cop
get
out on this one.
when we get the Strange Academy affiliation, she will be.
Convocation is still such a weird affiliation.
It really
But
is.
yeah,
I'm
she
figuring
fits.
'em
She's
out.
great. Yeah, she's great with books. No More Mutants is great with convocation. Like she's honestly the hardest thing in that is that it's gonna be hard to take her and Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, who's also just really really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does give you a tall option that can just because her and Strange 2 can actually just melt any model that you put on the table against them.
15-point threat. Strange 2, her, and Ebony Maw. Convocation.
You
That's
can't
not
because they only have
affiliated.
one.
Oh, it's not affiliated. You're right.
Yeah. However, those two at 15 with Wong being able to heal both of them, and then Magic also being able to just out hit her weight class is something that
No,
that affiliation was.
I would put Mordo instead of Magic because he ups their dice.
He can, yeah.
All right.
like
Well,
Magic so much.
let's wrap this up. The last segment is my non sequitur recommendation. My non sequitur. So I don't. This character was played by Elizabeth Olsen in the Marvel universe. I I do not know what else Elizabeth Olsen. I know that she does other stuff. I can't think of anything that I've seen that she's been in.
Hold on, Fred. I have a recommendation for Elizabeth Olsen fans. If I can think of the name of the movie, it has
Not a good sign.
Yeah, it's No, you go. I'll look up the name. I know.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna recommend, this is kind of actually a cop out on my part. I'm gonna recommend something that I've already recommended season 1 of. I'm gonna recommend season 2 of Invincible because it's out. It's out now, and it's excellent. It holds up to as good as season 1 was.
It's finally out now after
well, I've not watched every episode yet. I don't think that every single episode is out, but they are in the process of coming out, and I am very impressed. The show is one of the best like superhero cartoons that I've ever watched. I of course have not watched X-Men 97 yet, which is something that everyone is saying is
A
I should
shame.
watch because it's amazing. But Invincible season 2 also outstanding. Also outstanding.
Okay, I've got the movie. It's
What's the
called Ingrid Goes West. It has
Okay.
Aubrey Plaza, Elizabeth Olsen, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Wyatt Russell. And Aubrey Plaza plays a young woman who is obsessed with an Instagrammer, a celebrity, who's played by Elizabeth Olsen, and moves out and arranges things to become her friend through a web of lies and deceit, and it's really good.
Okay. All right. Well, check out that if you are into what appears to be a tension-filled drama. I've never seen the movie.
You
Say
should
the
watch
movie
it,
again.
Fred. Ingrid Goes West.
Ingrid Goes West.
It's so good.
All right. And until next week, go out there and play some games of MCP and have some fun doing it. Goodbye, everybody.